Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the month of July 2022. This is a general reading with messages meant for those with Aries in their birth chart. However, cross watchers are also welcome. Please take into consideration that the roles of individuals or energies identified in this reading may be swapped, and the intensity of the energy or the situation may vary. So feel free to take whatever messages resonate and leave behind for others whatever does not. So we're starting off with a Celtic cross reading. We'll go through the meanings, do some clarifications, and finish off with an oracle card message. So here we have the current situation, the moon. What crosses is King of Swords. Above we have Wheel of Fortune. Below we have Two of Cups. In the past we have Page of Swords. In the near future, Four of Swords. Your current attitude of the situation, the Chariot. Your environment, Ten of Swords. Hopes and fears, Seven of Pentacles. And the outcome, the High Priestess. So here, the current situation with the moon, it indicates a sense of not having clarity and possibly some hesitation in moving forward. Although you do have in your current attitude the Chariot, which is about advancing on a journey and really overcoming obstacles to advance your will and achieve victory. However, with the Four of Swords in the near future, this is a card of withdrawal, not advancement. There may be some healing going on, and there is kind of a chance to get some clarity here. So what you have in the past with this Page of Swords kind of indicates a sense of curiosity, possibly trying to gather more information about a person or a situation. What you have here with this King of Swords crossing or complementing the situation. King of Swords are about using logic, reason, intellect, having power and authority, and really being able to reason and analyze a situation to come to a solution where the result is fair and there is some compassion in the King of Swords, but ultimately it is more of a withdrawn, objective viewpoint. With the moon, it's more intuition based. There is more of a chance where self-doubt will kind of cause fear and anxiety to kind of pop up. And because you have the Page of Swords in the past, it seems that there's not a lot of information known. And so it kind of creates potential for that doubt. So what you have above is this Wheel of Fortune, where things are just, constantly changing. Perhaps, in the past you haven't been lucky in love, and so there's this concern that you will or you won't be lucky in love this time. The reason why I'm thinking that has to do with love is because what you have below is the Two of Cups, which is about kind of coming together on an emotional basis to form a unity. And here communication is key. And the King of Swords is good in communications, though may not really have that gentle, tender touch to things. When it comes to the moon, there is more of opportunity to get into the tender aspects, the feelings and emotions. But if there is self-doubt, then it's kind of your mind kind of plays tricks on you. What you have in your environment is the Ten of Swords. So here it can be, perhaps you feel that others aren't supporting you, you've been betrayed before, or really people that you know are kind of saying that this really isn't going to work out. And so all these thoughts are kind of the external factors are making it seem that you really don't have, that there's really no hope here. But with the Ten of Swords, there's usually a new dawn ahead where there is a sense of hope. But in terms of what you've been pursuing, that kind of avenue is cut off. But this is simply your environment. In your hopes and fears with the Seven of Pentacles, this kind of indicates some hope. You've been investing in something, you are kind of seeing it's not exactly where you want it to be. You're feeling that you're being tested in how much you can invest in this. And at this point, there is a long-term outcome, but the concern is that you're investing in something that really won't be exactly what you were hoping for or expecting. With the outcome being the High Priestess, there is a sense of the resolution here being you and your intuition being in sync, having that inner wisdom, and kind of being in a place where you can trust your gut, you can trust yourself completely. So let's take a look at this moon. You have the Ten of Wands. So it could be that, whatever this situation is kind of indicates a relationship. It may be that you were going for something that was outside of your comfort zone and taking on a lot. And with your experience in the past, it could be that it feels like way too much for you and you're really doubting yourself. So let's take a look at the King of Swords over here. You have the Ten of Cups. So to some degree, this kind of indicates that there is the outcome or the goal is the sense of happiness, the sense of happy ever after, being in a place of fulfillment, and joy not only within yourself, but with your community. And with the King of Swords, this is not seeming like a significant other. This is kind of seeming, or a potential significant other. This is kind of seeming like a parent figure or a mentor or someone who's kind of always been, bossy, and you do listen to them. And in a way, it's not necessarily that this individual is directly talking to you about the situation, but you have really kind of almost incorporated a dialogue with yourself, as if this is like an external voice, or external individual that has that you've kind of mimicked an internal voice to kind of talk to you. So with you kind of wanting to tap into your intuition, it's almost as this, let's just call it like like your dad. It could be any type of expert or person in authority, that you've looked up to or relied on in the past. But let's just say this is your dad, and your dad has kind of told you, well, if you want to succeed in life, you have to set these goals and you have to go this path, and it's kind of feeling way too much for you. Or in order for you to be happy, you should, you look for these things in another individual, and here are all the red flags. And so it's almost this internal voice that is mirrored after someone of authority that's kind of having an impact on you, and kind of resonates with this Ten of Swords in your environment, which are external forces that have an impact on you. But it's almost as if the external forces is this kind of internal voice of the King of Swords. So let's take a look at your environment. You have the Six of Wands, and this is a card of victory, being recognized by your community as being accomplished and succeeding. So it's almost as if you're trying to have that as your environment, and it's almost everything that you do, there's like a naysayer. With the swords being indicative of mental thought processes or communications, it's almost as if there's a thought process that just like it's almost like pokes holes in your ideas and what you see as potential success down the road. So let's take a look at the Page of Swords here. You have the Five of Swords. Okay. So to some degree, it seems like with the Page of Swords, this is kind of seen as someone who's curious and just wanting to learn, wanting to get information, and it's making it seem even more so that at some point you looked up to, where you were learning from this King of Swords individual. And this could even be, a mother. This could be a teacher, be a former boss. But basically someone who is just very cut and dry about things. And to some degree, learning from this individual kind of discomfort when it comes to instability and conflict and not having things clear cut. The Five of Swords, this is kind of indicates, yes, you have the mental ability and the power to win, to succeed. That's what you've learned. But sometimes the way that you go about something it doesn't feel like a victory. It doesn't feel like success with the Six of Wands. It's this false sense of victory. It's kind of winning at all costs or everyone loses situation. So let's take a look at the Wheel of Fortune above. To some degree it could be an idea of like karma, where you feel like you're going to be just like so and so and never find happiness type of thing. Okay, so you have the Ace of Wands. So there is a hope that there is going to be a change. So it could be that you're hoping you are nothing like this individual, and it could be that you are trying very hard to have a different path. So let's take a look at the Two of Cups below. It looks, other than this Ten of Cups clarifying the King of Swords, which can kind of indicate that the King of Swords was like in control of this concept of the happy family. The Two of Cups are the only other cups I see here so far, which is in the unconscious aspects. You have King of Cups. Okay, so it's as if there is a part of you that really wants to connect. You want that stability in your life. Perhaps you wanted to have this King of Swords person instead to have been this more supportive, compassionate, and emotionally sturdy and emotionally connecting type of role model. And that really this kind of desire is a huge motivator for you to make this change or think about this change, although you might not be aware of that, because your attitude is kind of just like, make this happen. With a Chariot, there's a concept of leaving home, leaving your community, going on your own path, and really, whatever obstacles come your way, if there are conflicts or opposing energies, really bending that to your will to advance you towards your goal. So here it is a sense of seeking victory, which would be in line with the King of Swords, but really this Ace of Wands trying to have this be your own sense of victory for yourself. What's interesting with the Chariot is this is associated with the sign of Cancer, which is it's the crab, and the crabs kind of carry their homes on them, and to some degree the person driving the Chariot is leaving their home to achieve victory in order to ensure that their home is safe, that they are protected, that they're protecting the ones they love. So there is this kind of concept of home there, even though with the Chariot it's kind of wanting to It's a test of what you can do outside of your home. So you have the Knight of Cups, another Cups card. So yeah, I think I'm just kind of noticing the clarification with the cups, but in the initial Celtic cross spread, it's just the Two of Cups in the unconscious aspect. So with the Knight of Cups here, clarifying the Chariot, your view of things, there is that motivation of really connecting with people from the heart, really wanting to pursue love, to give love and receive love, and seems like that is kind of what you're looking for. So let's take a look at the Seven of Pentacles with your hopes and fears. You have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is a card of kind of enjoying the rewards of your work. And it is a card of independence and confidence. The thing about the Nine of Pentacles, though, is the individual is usually alone. So there is a concern that you are investing in something, possibly investing with your heart. This could be a relationship in particular. This could be a friendship. This could be a career path, and what you're investing in. There is the hope that it turns out to be what you want it to be, that you have material wealth, security, comfort, but there is that concern also that even if you make that to get there, there will be a sense of independence but being alone in that independence. So let's see what's going on with the Four of Swords here. You have the Chariot. Interesting. So here with the Chariot and the Four of Swords, these are really kind of conflicting energies of advancing forward and just withdrawing and taking time to rest. So it does indicate that whatever your view is, whatever you're trying to, the journey you're trying to go on, it's like you're spinning your wheels. You may need to, in this downtime, kind of clear your head and consider what it is that you want, or maybe even having a conversation with yourself about this King of Swords, and really recognizing that this King of Swords is not helping you to tap into your intuition, which is the outcome. So let's take a look at the High Priestess. You have the Strength card. So here with the Strength card, this is recognizing all aspects of yourself and embracing them. This is about self-acceptance. This is about being in a place where your heart is the center, and with that heart center, there is courage that comes out from it. But ultimately, there's a need for you in this, possibly in this downtime, the Four of Swords, to acknowledge the different aspects of yourself, acknowledge the parts of you that are like the King of Swords, acknowledge the parts of you, like the King of Swords, and that, driven, kind of cut and dry, smart, and able to communicate your ideas, as well as like the more tender, gentle, coming from the heart emotional aspects, the parts that are more patient as opposed to just go, 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 and embracing all those characteristics of yourself and accepting who you are and being your own person. It will help you to tap into your intuition so that you can make the decision on what you want to do here. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards to get advice from the universe for you. So we have this pathway card, which is interesting considering you have 2 chariots and the moon, where it kind of indicates a journey, a path. So let's see what we can find out about that path. You have unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. So here, the struggle that you're trying to kind of make your own way to really get somewhere else than where you kind of started out from. It's as if the universe is kind of saying with the 4 of Swords, just like you just need time and reflect on what your journey is, because you're on the path. You are on your journey. You're exactly where you need to be, and you might come across unknown territory with this moon card, but here, recognizing your strengths, recognizing all aspects of yourself, tapping into your intuition is really going to help you on your path. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of your month, and we'll see you next time. Take care.